There's a strange kind of pain in being alone. It feels out of place, almost like something is wrong in the very setup of life itself. We enter a world full of people, yet somehow you end up feeling apart, disconnected, as if even the universe has turned its back on you. The quietness can be intense, and the emptiness can feel like too much to bear. But what if I told you that this loneliness isn't a mistake? That it actually has a purpose far greater than what you currently see or feel? Carl Jung, one of the most respected thinkers in psychology, believed that times of isolation weren't just unfortunate events, they were necessary stages in the journey to truly knowing yourself. The universe isn't punishing you, it's reshaping you. The real question is, will you fight it, or will you lean into it? At first, being alone feels like being pushed away. We often link loneliness with failure, with being left behind. You look around and see others thriving in friendships and relationships, surrounded by people and seeming totally comfortable. Meanwhile, you're left wondering, why me? What did I do to deserve this? But Jung saw it differently. He believed that people who are meant for more are often separated from others, not because they aren't worthy of connection, but because their path requires solitude. These long, quiet periods aren't punishments. They are invitations. They are moments calling you to explore parts of yourself that are usually lost in the noise of everyday life. Most people fear being alone because it forces them to face who they really are, but those who face it head-on often find something incredible. Think about the greatest minds in history. Philosophers, artists, scientists, spiritual figures, they all went through deep periods of being alone. Buddha sat quietly under the Bodhi tree, spending years looking inward. Jung himself spent time in deep reflection to understand the human mind. Why? Because real change doesn't happen in crowded spaces. It happens in the quiet, uncomfortable moments when all you have is your own presence. The universe puts those meant to wake up through isolation. It takes away distractions and creates the space for real inner work to begin. If you're feeling lost or cut off, maybe it's not because you've been forgotten. Maybe it's because you're being prepared for something that only time alone can bring to light. But here's the real challenge. Many people can't bear the quiet. They sink into sadness, believing that being alone means they are not wanted. Jung would say this is the biggest misunderstanding. Loneliness isn't a curse. It's a doorway to something deeper. The question is, will you take this time to learn who you are, to grow and become something more, or will you let the quiet swallow you? You've been given this moment for a reason. What you do with it will change everything. When you're alone, your thoughts get louder. The noise of the world goes quiet, and suddenly you're face to face with thoughts you've long avoided. That's where most people start to break. Your mind replays every mistake, every fear, every insecurity. You start to feel like you're drowning in your own thoughts. But Jung knew this was necessary. He called it individuation, the process of becoming your true self. Most people live lives shaped by what others expect of them. But in solitude, those outside voices go silent. All that's left is you, and that can be terrifying. But it's also the only way to truly know yourself. The reason being alone hurts so much is because it brings up everything you've been hiding from. Maybe it's past pain, maybe it's the realization that the life you've built doesn't really belong to you. Without distractions, your deeper mind starts speaking. Jung believed that facing this inner self was the start of real growth. Most people run from this. They turn to social media, to constant activity, to people, anything to avoid being alone with themselves. But those who stay, who don't run from their thoughts, are the ones who grow. The pain of being alone isn't there to punish you. It's there to clean you, to prepare you. But this is where many fall. Instead of seeing this time as an opening, they see it as a door closing. They fall into doubt, thinking they are not worthy of love. That's the biggest danger of being alone. Not the quiet itself, but the false belief that it will never end. Jung warned about identifying too much with your pain. Yes, loneliness can hurt, but the pain is not the enemy. It's the teacher. The more you fight it, the more it controls you. But if you listen to it, if you stop resisting, you may begin to hear something new. Your true voice. The people who come out of solitude with clarity and strength are those who understand why it exists. They don't see themselves as victims of loneliness. They see themselves as students of it. They use the time to reflect, to unlearn what the world has taught them, and to find peace within. This is why so many deep thinkers, spiritual seekers, and inventors choose to be alone. Solitude is not an empty space. It's a path, a journey that separates those who are merely getting by from those who are truly living. It might feel like you've been left behind, but what if you are being prepared? Throughout time, those who did great things often went through long seasons of being alone. They were taken away from comfort, from people, from the world, and made to face themselves. This isn't by chance. It's a test. The universe doesn't hand out wisdom for free. It asks that you earn it. And isolation is the first step. Most people fail this step. They turn bitter, thinking life is unfair. They waste their alone time by wishing things would go back to how they were. But Jung believed that truth seekers must be able to sit with their pain and find meaning in it. Why? Because it's only in quiet and stillness that you really meet yourself. No outside pressure, no noise, just the honest truth of who you are. If you are in a time of isolation right now, know this. The universe hasn't forgotten you. It's watching, waiting to see what you'll do. Will you use this time to grow, or will you hold on to what used to be? That choice will decide if this time breaks you or builds you. Those who pass this test don't come out the same. They are stronger, wiser, and more ready for whatever comes next. But those who fight it, who try to skip over it, only stay stuck longer. You have a choice. You can see your solitude as something unfair or as something meaningful. If you're alone right now, ask yourself, what is life trying to teach me? What parts of myself have I been ignoring? What truths have I been afraid to face? Jung believed that only in solitude could these questions be answered. That's why the universe separates those it plans to change, because only the ones who dare to face themselves can really transform. Here's what many don't realize. Solitude doesn't just show you who you are. It helps build someone new. When all the noise fades away and all the distractions are gone, what's left? At first it feels like nothing, but in that space something begins to grow. Jung believed that deep within your unconscious mind lies a version of you untouched by fear, expectation, or outside pressure. That's your true self, buried under years of trying to fit in. And the only way to uncover it is through time spent alone. In today's world, we're hardly ever really alone. We're always distracted, scrolling, watching, talking. These distractions keep us from facing ourselves, but true personal growth happens in the stillness. Jung saw solitude as a doorway to the deeper mind, a place where your biggest fears, dreams, and truths come out. Most never reach this place, they're too scared, but those who do, they find real power. Think about every major spiritual path. Monks go to the mountains, prophets wander alone, sages live in silence. Why? Because being alone isn't about suffering, it's about unlocking something greater. Jung said that within each person is a force bigger than their small self, a link to something beyond the material world. He called it the collective unconscious, a pool of deep wisdom we all carry inside. Solitude is the way to reach it. But being alone isn't just about discovering who you are, it's about shaping who you'll become. When you have no one else to lean on, you begin to trust yourself. This is where true strength is built. You learn to think clearly, to trust your own voice, to be your own guide. Most people live by reacting to the world. They need others to tell them who to be. But those who master solitude find something far more valuable. They no longer need the world to define them. They already know who they are. And here you are, facing the quiet, looking for meaning in the stillness. It feels heavy now, but what if this is the start of something beautiful? Jung believed everyone has a path meant only for them, but most never find it. They're too distracted, too stuck in what the world wants them to be. The universe pulls you away for a reason. It wants you to go inward, to listen to the voice you've ignored. At first, solitude feels like a prison. But if you stay long enough, you'll see it for what it really is, a door. A door to a life not ruled by fear, not controlled by others, not needing constant praise. Jung spoke of becoming your true self, but it's not easy. It takes real bravery, bravery to walk alone, to face the unknown, to believe that the silence holds the answers. Most people won't get it. They'll tell you to just move on, to act normal. But you're not here to live a normal life. If you were, you wouldn't be going through this. The universe doesn't isolate people who are meant to stay the same. It isolates those who are meant to rise. It takes away everything familiar so you have no choice but to meet yourself and grow. So now you must ask, what will I do with this time? Will I fight it? Or will I listen? Will I let it change me? You get to decide. But never forget, the universe doesn't make mistakes. If you're alone right now, it's because you're meant to be. And what you do next will shape everything. Even among a crowd, they often feel invisible because they are neither truly seen nor genuinely known. And even worse, they don't really understand themselves. The real tragedy is that most people will never escape this illusion. They will spend their lives jumping from one relationship to another, from one distraction to the next, trying to fill an emptiness they can't explain. Being alone tears away the illusion. It makes you face what is real. When you're by yourself, there's no one to impress, no role to play. You are left with just the bare reality of who you truly are. For many, this is frightening. It's easier to stay distracted, to seek comfort in surface-level relationships, to avoid the hard and uncomfortable process of discovering oneself. But those who avoid the truth only delay their pain. They stay locked in a cycle of shallow connections, never finding real peace, never truly meeting themselves. The strange thing is that real connection is only possible for those who first learn to be alone. Only when you deeply understand yourself, your fears, your hopes, your strengths and flaws, can you create real, honest relationships. Only when you stop fearing being alone can you truly connect with others without losing yourself. The universe doesn't isolate you to hurt you. It separates you from fake connections, illusions, and the never-ending chase for outside approval. It's only when you stop relying on others to feel complete that you can honestly connect with them. Eventually, there comes a time in solitude when the quiet isn't peaceful anymore. It becomes heavy. The emptiness feels like it might swallow you. This is what many spiritual paths call the dark night of the soul, a painful period where everything you thought was true falls apart. It feels like the end, and in a way, it is. But Carl Jung believed this kind of death is needed. It's the end of the false self, the version of you created from fear, expectations, and a need to control. Only by letting that self die can a new, more powerful self be born. Many people break at this point. They give up. They begin to believe that life has no purpose and that they'll never escape the darkness. Depression, hopelessness, and despair can take over. These are the dangers of the dark night. But Jung understood that this pain isn't the final chapter. It's a shift. It's the destruction of everything fake inside you so that something real can take its place. People who come through this are often completely changed. They've let go of illusion. They're reborn with a clarity few ever experience. Still, walking this path is not easy. Most people fight it. They hold on tightly to who they used to be, how they used to think. They try to run from the pain through distractions, addictions, or anything that keeps them from facing themselves. But the only way out is to go through it. You must let your old self fall away. You must let go of everything that no longer supports your true growth. Everything built on fear instead of truth. This is the heart of what Jung called individuation, the difficult but important path of becoming your real self. If you're going through this now, remember, you're not breaking down, you're changing. The universe has pulled you into solitude because it's taking away all that isn't really you. It's painful now, but something powerful waits on the other side. A version of you that is wiser, braver, and free from the illusions that once held you back. The dark night of the soul isn't the end. It's the entrance to something far greater than you can yet imagine. What if your isolation isn't random? What if it's not just pain, but preparation? Jung believed that every person has a unique purpose, a path that belongs only to them. But most never discover it because they're too distracted, too caught up in trying to meet other people's expectations. The universe puts you in solitude for a reason. It is shaping you, refining you, preparing you for what comes next. This is why so many thinkers, leaders, and visionaries have gone through long periods of deep loneliness. Not because they were weak, but because they were being readied for something bigger. Think about the great minds of history: Jung, the Buddha, Tesla. They all faced rejection, isolation, pain, but they didn't let it destroy them. They used it. They allowed solitude to sharpen their minds, to strengthen their inner selves. They turned their suffering into deep understanding, their loneliness into strength. The universe doesn't waste pain. It doesn't isolate people who have no purpose. It separates those who are meant for more. But here's the hard truth. Most people will never realize this. They will waste their time alone. They'll long for the past, hope someone will save them. They'll see solitude as a curse instead of what it really is, a calling. And because of this, they'll miss the most important opportunity of their lives. But what about you? Will you let this time go to waste, or will you use it? Will you see your solitude as just pain, or as the beginning of something incredible? This moment has been given to you for a reason. You're being shaped into something better, but only if you let it happen. Only if you stop fighting it. Only if you believe that this quiet time is not the end of your journey, but the real beginning. The most difficult truth about being alone is also the most powerful one. You have to walk this path by yourself. No one else can do it for you. No one else has the answers you need. No one is coming to save you. And that's exactly how it's meant to be. Jung believed that real transformation can't be handed to you. It must be earned. That's why the universe isolates you, because only in solitude can you grow the strength, the insight, and the self-trust needed to become who you were meant to be. Many people spend their lives waiting for guidance, hoping for someone to give them a path, to tell them what to do. They look for teachers, leaders, heroes, but the truth is, no one else can do this work. The most meaningful lessons, the deepest truths, the biggest changes, they can only come from within you. That's why solitude is so important. It forces you to become your own teacher. You'll want to go back to comfort. You'll want to run from the silence. But if you do, you'll never become what you could be. The universe has given you this solitude as a gift. Will you accept it? Most people spend their whole lives running away from who they are. They keep busy with noise, with distractions, with approval from others. Anything to avoid being alone. Because in that quiet space, they would have to face something scary, the truth of who they really are. But the universe has a way of tearing down false images, of placing you in situations that break you apart so that you can rebuild into something better. This is why you are alone now. not to punish you, but to get you ready, not to weaken you, but to make you strong beyond what you thought possible. Think again about everything we've talked about. The false sense of connection, the pretend self, the hard work of changing, the deep darkness of the soul. All of this brings us to one truth. You are not who you used to think you were. That person you held on to, the version shaped by fear, culture, and pressure, was never the real you. And now that's being torn down. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it feels like your world is falling apart. But it's only because something new is coming into being. A version of you that is clear, strong, and no longer fooled by illusion. Jung knew that isolation opens the way to becoming fully yourself. But here's the problem. Most people won't make it to that point. They push away solitude. They treat transformation as only suffering, not as the deep and life-changing gift it is. Because of this, they stay trapped in endless cycles of escape, never stepping into their real potential. But that doesn't have to be your story. Now you see what's really going on. You know this time alone isn't pointless. You see that it's here to change you, to break down the false and rebuild the true. So the question now is, will you allow it? Will you accept this change? Or will you keep holding on to comfort and illusion? The decision is yours. And here is one final truth. If you decide to embrace this path, if you fully walk through the fire of solitude, something amazing happens. You begin to change in ways you never thought possible. You gain a strength inside that nothing can shake. You stop needing other people to approve of you. You stop chasing shallow relationships. You stop letting fear control your life. You become something rare, a person who is actually free. This is why so few people reach their full potential, because the cost is high. The price is being alone. The price is facing yourself without distractions. It's looking inside your own mind and accepting what you find there. It's hard. It will tear you down before it builds you back up. But if you can go through it, if you can accept it, you will come out unbreakable. Look around, look at people who've never gone through this inner path. You'll see it in their eyes, the fear, the doubt, the quiet sadness of people who've never really met themselves. They hide behind distractions, behind relationships, behind roles they think they have to play. They are scared of being alone because deep down they know they don't know who they are. But that's not your path. You have been chosen for something more. So use this time. Stop fighting it. Stop hating it. Start asking yourself, what is the universe trying to show me? Who am I supposed to become? What lies am I holding on to? If you honestly ask those questions, if you walk this road without turning back, you will change. You will become someone who no longer fears solitude, because you will have found real strength in it. And here's the last truth. Once you've been through this process, you can never go back. The things that once held you down, other people's opinions, the need for attention, fear of being left out, won't control you anymore. You'll be free in a way most people will never understand, and that is the greatest gift the universe can ever give you. So now it's your turn. Will you say yes to this path? Will you take this solitude and let it change you into who you were meant to be? Or will you keep fighting it and stay stuck in the illusions you've outgrown? If you're ready, begin now. Begin by accepting this moment. Understand that being alone is not your end. It's the beginning of something far more powerful than you can yet imagine.